moving forward, there's one thing that we know the 7.3s to do, and that's going to be oil leaks.
Yep.
One of the most common oil leaks that we see now, especially as these things get into higher mileage, seems to be the oil cooler. I
Yep.
feel like most of the trucks that we see fail or are puking oil seems to be regarding the oil cooler, just because, once again, you've got fat O-rings there with pressurized oil behind them. It's right there on the side of the block, and it tends to make a mess. The nice thing about the 7.3s versus the 6 liters, in my opinion, is that the oil cooler itself is external. We're not having to
Yes.
dive into the valley.
Yeah.
We're not having to pull the intake. Once again, makes it super DIY friendly.
Yes.
It's 5 bolts, I think, to pull an oil cooler on one.
Yep.
And most of the time, the oil cooler itself doesn't fail unless you have neglect. They
Yep.
tend to do really well. So you're able to pull that oil cooler assembly off and reseal them. And that is, with a press, it's a very simple job. If you're lucky, sometimes you can do it by hand.
Yeah.
But it's just the cost of an oil change, some coolant, and some O-ring.